God is a mighty great God. A mighty great God. I have to tell you right now that I feel so blessed to be back here. And I want to first just say this very personally and confess to you that the first time I met the pastor was on my last visit to this church. And what was amazing to me is when you are running a statewide campaign, you are literally running from spot to spot. But I thought this would be a stop, but really it was a startup for me. And I want to let you all know that when I sat in the bishop's office, it was a meeting that I'll remember for the rest of my life because my life changed then. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. And this has nothing to do with politics. But there's a definition of faith that I know that says if you are faithful, you know that when you come to the end of all the light you know, and you are stepping into the darkness of the unknown, that one or two things are going to happen, that God will have solid ground underneath your feet when you step. Or if he doesn't, he will send you people that will help you fly. And so I want you all to know, I'm confessing now, I didn't know about your bishop before this campaign started. But what he did in my life in the short time that I've known him has been truly miraculous. Because I did not know at the beginning of this election that not only would I face challenges in it that are political, but that I would also hit some personal challenges. In the primary, my father had a stroke. And in the general election, days before he died. And so your bishop became the definition of God's servant in my life. Because when my father fell into a stroke and was sick in the hospital, he comforted me and sent his prayer angels. This man is connected all over the country. All over the country. Sent his prayer angels to my father. When I felt down and in pain, he lifted me in prayer. When darkness was descending, he brought the light. When even in my challenges, when I didn't even know he was there, I had this debate that was crazy. And he showed up and was in my corner. And so I want you all to know that I feel a sense of love and gratitude. I honestly, I was sitting down there, I had to pull out my eyes, started weeping when I was sitting here because I just think that we have a great God and the bishop is sent by God into my life. Amen. 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 And so, lean not on your own understanding. Sometimes you just gotta surrender and know God is gonna find a way. You don't know why, and that's not your question to be asking why. It's just to let go and let God. And so I know right now I do not stand here by my own making. The bishop said it, I am the fourth African American elected in the history of our country, popularly elected in the history of our country, the United States Senate. I did not do that. I did not do that. God did that. And what I want to just close with is just this understanding of how great God is. Because I know when my father died, death ended a life, but it did not end a love. And this is where I love when science and religion come together. If you look at the stars at night, one of my friends who's this astrophysicist says those stars that you are seeing are billions of light years away, but many of them have gone out millions of years ago. But the light that you're seeing, the energy that they gave off while they were alive, it goes on forever. It goes on forever. And so true immortality has nothing to do with how long you lived. It has to do with how well you live. God doesn't promise us a long life, but if we live well, the impact we make, the people we touch, the goodness that we do, the love that we give goes on forever. And so this church represents a tradition. That's why I feel at home here. That's why y'all might be seeing me a little bit. Because this church represents a tradition. It represents a tradition. We are all here because of a conspiracy of love. Folks who came before us, we may not know their names, but they got through a middle passage. They had the shackles of bondage fall to the ground. They took Jim Crow and relegated it to the history books. They made it through poverty and pain, sickness of body and brain. They made it a mighty long way. These lovers of life, these servants of God, we are their children. And so I want you all to know that this church lives in that tradition. Those folks who in church basements or in barnyards, those people, black and white, who loved so much that their light still illuminates today. And so I ask now, I know it's an audacious ask, but I ask now for your prayers one more time. Because my parents always taught me, one of the most dangerous things is for a young man to forget where he came from. Forget where he came from. And I ask for your prayers because now I'm going into a mighty new world. And we see what's going on down in Washington. And so you all have to be, your individual lights, please help it to be my continual North Star. Please pray for me that I keep my eyes on God. And I remember why I'm sent down to Washington. And that every day I prove worthy of your faith in me. I prove worthy of your love. And I stay humble before my God. If we can do those things together, we're going to make a lot of good happen. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you.